Okay, so today we're going to discuss about the module number one with the topic defining culture, society, and politics. So this topic has its objective, which are the acknowledgement of human culture variation, social differences, social change, and political identities. Okay? So another objective of defining the culture, society, and politics is to adopt an open and critical attitude toward different social, political, and culture phenomena through observation and reflection. So as an overview, no, sabi dito as a question, how are culture, society, and politics are related in our everyday life? Is there anyone who can answer? Paano daw naging related sa ating pang-araw-araw na buhay yung culture, yung society, at saka yung politics? Anyone? Anda, Jenilyn, can you answer the question? How are culture, society, and politics related in our everyday life? Lusa sige, Jenilyn muna, sige. Okay, tama po. How about Radito, Losada? Wala. Okay, so let us proceed. Can you answer the question? Okay. So sabi dito, tama yung sagot niyong dalawa. Kasi, those three has its relation. So, ang culture kasi, encompasses, okay? Sorry po, encompasses the meaningful processes and products of this social interaction. Okay? So si culture daw is pumapasok dito yung meaningful processes at saka ito na yung pinakang product ng social interaction ng mga tao na nasa loob ng isang society. Okay? So, people likewise interact in a society as an individual and as a group with duties and privileges. No? Meron din silang tinatawag na responsibilities. And in the exercise of duties and privileges, a person as a member of the society engages in political activities. Now, there are different meanings, There are different meanings of a culture. And pumapaloob dito sa culture na to yung three kinds. Okay? Meron tayong three kinds of culture which are non-material, material, and constant change. So let us see, ano nga ba yung tinatawag natin na culture? Okay? At para saan ito? Ayan. So when we say culture, sabi nga, this encompasses the religion, okay, the type of food that we eat, what we wear, and how we wear it. Okay? It is also encompasses our language, the rituals of our marriage, of course, yung music na kinahihiligan natin, and the things that we live, that we believe, whether it is right or wrong. Okay? Then, this culture also encompasses how we sit at the table, no? How we greet our visitors, and how we behave with our loved ones. Okay? So, it also includes both material and non-material that possesses or acquires. So, these are the three main main or three kinds of culture. Una, non-material. When we say non-material, these are the norms and values as well as the intangible aspect. When we say intangible, hindi natin siya nahahawakan, hindi natin siya nakikita, pero naoobserbahan natin siya. Okay? These are the experience of an individual, the music, dance, poetry, and other form of expressions that showcase the creativity and artistry of an area or ng isang lugar. Halimbawa na lamang ang Rizal. 'Di ba? Ang Rizal, it has its art capital which is the Angono, no? Kung saan doon natin makikita yung mga paintings and most of the artists is naninirahan doon. Though merong mga artists na nasa ibang lugar, sa ibang part ng Rizal, pero sa Angono kasi naandun yung pinakamagaganda at doon dinadala yung pinaka precious na arts, no, na ginawa ng mga artists, no? So, sumunod naman is the materials. The material itself. Pag sinabi nating material, guys, it is a tangible aspect. Pag sinabi nating tangible, nahahawakan, nakikita, 'di ba? So, it could be a goods, 'di ba? It could be something like architecture and engineering wonders, no? Let's say for example is ang Tanay, 'di ba? Ang Tanay is merong mga tourist spot kung saan pwedeng mapuntahan ng mga turismo, 'di ba? It has its advancement when it comes on medicine, the breakthroughs in transportation, and of course, sa communication. Yun yung tinatawag nating material. Then, lastly is the constant change. Sabi dito, no matter what the culture a people are a part of, one thing is very certain. Ito yung pagbabago. No? Kahit tayo lumaki sa Tanay, pag napunta tayo sa ibang lugar, yung culture natin nababago eh. It is actually based on the experience na nangyari sa isang tao. Okay? Nagkakaroon nga ng tinatawag nating diverse effect sa isang individual. 'Di ba? Halimbawa si Jenny Lynn ay taga Pililya, 'di ba? So yung culture ng Pililya, yun yung kinalakihan niya. Yung culture ng pamilya niya, yun yung pinamulat sa kanya. But eventually, kapag napunta siya sa ibang lugar, nanirahan siya sa ibang lugar, kung anong culture meron dun sa lugar na yun, sa area na tinirahan niya ulit, is yun yung maa-adapt niya. Because an individual or every person has the ability to adapt to change. Ika nga, no? Bawat individual ay may kakayanang mag-adapt sa mga pagbabago na nangyayari sa paligid niya. Kaya, kumbaga, nagkakaroon ng constant change. Okay? So, those are the three kinds of culture. Ngayon, dumako naman tayo sa society. No? When we say society, it came from a French word, societe. Ayan. Pag sinabi nating societe, this actually came from a Latin societas, okay? Which means socius or companion. Yan, yun daw yung meaning niya. In mid-16th century, which means this is a sense of companionship or friendly association with others. No? Yun daw companion or yung socius na tinatawag is was given a meaning, which is a sense of companionship or friendly association with others. According to sociologists, a society is a group of people with common territory, interaction, and culture who act together for collective survival and well-being. So, yun daw society, according to sociologists, is these are a group of people merong common territory na maaring nakatira sa isang lugar, they can interact with one another, they have the same culture and act together in order to collect a survival and well-being. So, the ways that people depend upon
one another can be seen in different social features. So, yun paraan daw kung paano nakakapag-depend sa isa't isa yung tao is makikita sa iba't ibang social features. Halimbawa na lamang dito is yung ekonomiya, yung paraan nila ng pakikipag-communication, and of course, their defense system. Okay? So, they are also bound together by a general sense of common identity and pride and place. Okay? Paano daw yung sinasabi na they are bound together by a general sense of common identity and pride and place? Let's say, for example, si princess, no? Si Mangubat, Princess Mangubat. Halimbawa, nakatira siya sa Tanay, no? No matter where she go, is taga-Tanay pa rin siya. 'Di ba? Kahit saan siya mapunta, sa isip niya, taga-Tanay pa rin siya. Babalik at babalik siya kung saan siya nanggaling. Okay? So, yun yung tinatawag natin na general sense of common identity and pride of place. Okay? So, sabi nga dito, there can be no culture without the society. 'Di ba? Hindi daw magkakaroon ng culture kung walang society, kung walang mga product, 'di ba? Kung walang mga tao na nag-e-execute ng culture, kung walang mga tao na mismo na nagpapakita kung anong klaseng culture meron sila. Okay? So, there are actually two kinds of interaction, or more people interact and identify with one another. Ito yung tinatawag nating based on territory. Nakikipag-interact daw ang isang individual based on territory and interaction. Tingnan natin yung territory. Pag sinabi nating territory, most countries have formal boundaries and territory that would recognize as theirs. 'Di ba? Karamihan daw sa mga country or sa mga bansa, meron silang mga tinatawag na boundary at saka territory na nire-recognize nila bilang sa kanila. Okay? So, meron namang klase ng mga boundaries na hindi pumapasok doon sa tinatawag nating geopolitical borders. Halimbawa na lang yung United States at saka yung Canada. Bakit hindi siya pumapasok sa tinatawag nating geopolitical borders? It is because kumbaga magkarugtong kasi sila, halos magkatabi lang sila. And the geographics or the geopolitical boundaries of both countries is halos iisa. Okay? So, another one, the interaction. Okay? Pag sinabi nating interaction, the members of the society must meet one another. Okay? So, bawat isa daw na members ng isang society has the ability to interact with one another. Okay? Sa tingin nyo ba, kapag hindi nakipag-interact ang isang tao sa kapwa niya tao, magiging masaya ba siya? Di ba hindi? Halimbawa na lang sa loob ng tahanan, no? Bilyarial, halimbawa, sa loob ng bahay nyo, pag hindi ba kayo nag-uusap ng nanay at tatay mo, nakakatuwa ba yun? Maganda ba siyang tingnan? Hindi, di ba? So, interaction is very important in a society. Kahit saang organization, kahit saang lugar ka pumunta, no? Kapag hindi ka nakipag-interact sa ibang tao, kumbaga, nagiging boundary mo siya eh. Nagiging limitation mo siya. Diba? So, sabi dito, the geographic distance and language barriers can separate the societies within a country. Yun lang ang pagkakaiba. No? Sa bawat bansa, yung paraan nila ng pagsasalita, yung language na meron sila, yun yung nagiging dahilan kung ba't hindi sila nag-i-interact eh. Diba? Halimbawa ako, hindi ko naiintindihan yung Koreano, no? So instead na mahirapan akong magsalita ng Koreano dahil hindi naman ako marunong, hindi ko na lang siya kausapin. Tama? Halimbawa, yung Bisaya siya ng Bisaya, hindi ko naiintindihan yung sinasabi niya. Kasi mahirapan ako, hindi ko na lang siya kausapin. Pero sa tingin niyo, tama ba yun? There are actually other ways of interacting with other people kahit hindi kayo nagkakaintindihan by language eh. Diba? So, within the society, interaction really is a must, ika nga. 'Di ba? Kahit sa loob ng klase. 'Di ba? Pag hindi kayo nag-uusap ng mga classmate mo, halimbawa binigyan kayo ng project ng teacher nyo, tapos hindi kayo nag-uusap, hindi kayo nagmi-meeting, 'di ba? May mga hindi uma-attend kapag ka nagpapatawag ng meeting yung leader, 'di ba? Hindi matatapos agad yung project na pinagagawa ni teacher. Hindi maipapasa on time. Diba? Okay. So, let us now proceed with the different elements of society. Actually, these elements of the society has 6. Okay, isa-isayin natin. These are likeness, reciprocal awareness, differences, interdependence, cooperation, and conflict. Okay. When we say likeness, ito yung mutual comradeship, intimacy, association, or any kind of degree. Okay? This is actually would be possible, without some understanding of each other by the other. Hindi siya magiging impossible. Impossible siyang mangyari kapag hindi naiintindihan yung isa't isa. 'Di ba? Yun yung likeness na tinatawag. Okay? So, pag sinabi nating likeness, this is actually one of the element which must have strongly stimulated the group feelings in bringing men, women, and children together. Halimbawa sa isang associations or sa isang organization. Hindi naman mabubuo yung club or organization na sinasalihan mo o sinalihan mo nung ikaw ay nasa junior high school kung hindi kayo magkakapareho ng gusto. Tama? 'Di ba? Hindi ka naman sasali doon kung hindi kayo magkakapareho ng pinaniniwalaan, ng hilig, ika nga. 'Di ba? Ano pa? Ano pa yung ibang example nung likeness? Tatawag ako ha? Or Nopia, Omar, can you please give me an example of likeness? Or Nopia, nandiyan ka pa? Sino ba? Eustachio, can you give me an example of likeness? Naririnig ba ako? Okay. So, yun yung likeness. Mukhang naka-mute ang kanilang mic. Ano po? So, yung likeness po, again, is a mutuality. Pagkakapareho. Di ba? To make it simple. Pagkakapareho ng gusto, pagkakapareho ng hilig, ng interest, association to any kind of degree. Di ba? Number 2, the reciprocal awareness. Pag sinabi nating reciprocal awareness, this pertains to the likeness in generative of reciprocity. Pag sinabi nating reciprocity kasi, it pertains to bring back to the original position. Okay? Once an individual is aware of a mutual likeness, they certainly differentiate against those who are not like them. Kapag ka daw aware tayo sa pagkakapareho na meron, halimbawa aware ako na pareho kami ng attitude o pareho kami ng gusto ng kaibigan ko, mas magiging aware naman ako kung ano yung pagkakaiba namin. 'Di ba? Doon na pumapasok yung consciousness. 'Di ba? Na baka magkaroon kami ng problema pag ginawa ko to kasi ayaw niya ng ganito. 'Di ba? Let's say for example, nung college ako, meron akong kaibigan, ang pangalan niya Lenny, no? May mga bagay na ginagawa ako na gusto niya rin, pareho kami, no? We were aware na gusto namin yung pagka magpa-fundraising, we were aware na gusto namin yon kapag magkakaroon kami ng mga activities sa school, ganon. Pero may mga bagay na kumbaga, hindi kami pareho. So, by that, alam namin yun. And we put boundaries to that. Diba? Naglalagay kami ng boundaries doon na, baka hindi niya gusto to. Baka magalit siya sa akin pag ginawa ko to. Diba? So, this alone makes possible the we feeling. Dito pumapasok yung we feeling na tinatawag. Yung, halimbawa, kami. Diba? Yung nandun ka lang sa parehas kami ng gusto. Diba? Na kapag ginawa ko to, baka mawala yung kaibigan ko. Yung ganun eh. Diba? Yung tinatawag na we feeling.
Okay. So, let us proceed now with the other element, which is the differences. Yan. Pag sinabi nating differences, it is actually a sense of likeness that is not always sufficient. Diba? Kabaliktaran siya nung pareho kayo ng gusto, ng likeness. Likeness is pareho, mutuality yun eh. Differences, pagkakaiba. Sabi nga every individual has a unique personality. Magkakaiba kayo. Magkaiba si Jenilyn, magkaiba si Ledesma, magkaiba si Ornopia, magkakaiba si Radito, si Alessandra. Magkakaiba kayo ng personality. Okay? So, sabi nga no man is an island. No two individuals are alike in their nature. Kahit ganon. Diba? They differ from each other
With respect to their interests, to the capacities, abilities, tendencies, diba? Kaya nga minsan compare natin yung sarili natin sa iba. It is because of our differences. Diba? Halimbawa, si RJ, no? Ikukumpara niya yung sarili niya. Bakit si Kuya matangkad, ako maliit, 'di ba? There is a difference kasi. 'Di ba? Bakit si Kuya matalino, ako simple lang, 'di ba? Ganun 'yun eh. 'Di ba? There is a difference kasi. If people were exactly alike, their social relationship would be very much limited. Kapag sobrang magkapareho daw yung tao, yung every individual is halos magkakapareho. Yung yung social relationship nila, napakalimitado niyan. Wala kang ibang pwedeng, you cannot even go out of your box. 'Di ba? You cannot even explore. 'Di ba? Kapag halos magkapareho kayo. Kaya, kumbaga, yung differences,
is tinitingnan din yan as one of the element of society. Okay? Nasusundan po ba si ma'am? Nandyan pa po ba kayo? Okay. So, let us now proceed with the interdependence.
yan. So, this interdependence rather has a connection with interaction. Bakit daw siya nagkaroon ng connection with interaction? Kasi, the society implies the interdependence na tinatawag. It is another essential element to constitute the society. Okay? So, hindi daw posible yung tinatawag na human being o hindi daw posible yung tinatawag na satisfaction ng human being, yung desire, kapag ina-isolate niya yung sarili niya. Halimbawa ako, gusto kong magkaroon ng bahay, pero nasa loob lang ako ng gusto kong magkaroon ng bahay, pero nasa loob lang ako ng bahay ko, wala akong ginagawa. Tingin nyo, kaiisip ko na gusto kong magkaroon ng bahay, magkakaroon ako ng bahay? Makukuha ko ba yung desire ko? Di ba hindi? Ito yung sarili ko eh. Hindi ako nakikipag salamuha sa ibang tao. Which is posibleng makatulong sa akin para magkaroon ako ng bahay. Pwedeng makatulong sa akin para magkaroon ako ng trabaho, para makaipon. Diba? So, he cannot live alone. Sabi nga, diba, binanggit ko to kanina dun sa reciprocal awareness. No man is an island. No individual can live alone. 'Di ba? So he needs the help of others in order to survive. 'Di ba? Kaya yung mga sinasabi ng ibang tao na pag halimbawa magkaaway yung magkapatid, tapos sinabi niya hindi kita kailangan. 'Di ba? Umalis ka sa harap ko, di kita kailangan. Yung mga ganyan, yung mga ganong sinasabi. Actually,
Hindi ano yun eh. Dala lang yun ng galit. Pero yung totoo niyan, alam niyo yung fulfillment mo as an individual, kapag ka naandyan siya sa tabi mo, 'di ba? Alam niyo yung fulfillment na yun, nakukuha mo siya, 'di ba? Society fulfills all the needs of the people, 'di ba? Halimbawa na lamang yung sa pamilya, 'di ba? Yun yung tinatawag natin na biological interdependence. Halimbawa, yung pamilya ni Sandayan, yung nanay niya, yung tatay niya, kung may kuya siya at kung meron siyang nakakabatang kapatid, they interact with one another. They are interdependence with one another. 'Di ba? So, doon pumapasok yung communication. Okay? Doon pumapasok yung communication ng bawat isa sa tinatawag na interdependence. Okay? Another element is what we call cooperation. Okay? So, when we say cooperation, it is also another essential element to constitute the society. No? Without cooperation, no society can exist. Kahit anong klase daw ng grupo, kahit anong klase ng associations, pag walang cooperation yung mga members nito, it would not be possible to exist. No? Let's say for example sa school, pag binigay ko na to example kanina, no? Pag nagbigay ako ng project, tapos groupings, at hindi nagko-cooperate yung bawat isa, yung bawat members ng grupo na yan, is hindi nyo matatapos yung project. No? If the members of the society do not work together for a common purpose, they cannot lead a happy and comfortable life. So, yun yung tinatawag nating cooperation. Okay? O, isa pang halimbawa, no, ng cooperation sa barangay. 'Di ba? Hindi maipapatupad ni barangay captain yung kanyang halimbawa, yung kanyang batas o yung kanyang anong tawag dito? Constitute sa loob ng barangay kung hindi nakikipag-cooperate ang tanod, ang health workers, 'di ba? Hindi magiging possible lahat ng 'yun kung walang cooperation. Okay? Next one is the conflict. Yan. So si conflict daw, it is actually a ever-presented phenomenon that is present in every human society. No? Bakit nagkakaroon ng conflict?
bakit daw nagkakaroon ng conflict? It is because of the differences, no, of every individual, which is the member or the coexist of the society. 'Di ba? Gaya ng binanggit ko kanina, every individual has the unique personality. Magkakaiba tayo. Magkakaiba kayo ng personality. So, dahil doon, no, nagkakaroon ng conflict. Dahil magkakaiba kayo ng interest. Dahil magkakaiba kayo ng, anong tawag dito, ng gusto, ng capacity. Magkakaiba kayo ng ability. No? Nagkakaroon ng conflict. Okay? The conflict is a process of struggle which or through all things have come into existence. No? So, ano yung mga ano yung kabaliktaran niya? Yung harmony is kabaliktaran ng disharmony. Cooperation, kabaliktaran ng conflict. Both of them are needed para mag-grow ang isang society. Okay? So, those are the different elements, no? Different elements of society. The likeness, reciprocal awareness, differences, okay? Interdependence, cooperation, and conflict. Okay, so tapos na tayo sa culture and society. Let us now proceed with the politics. Yan. What is politics? Ano nga ba yung tinatawag nating politics? No? The word politics comes from the Greek word politika. Okay? Which means affair of the cities. Yun yung tinatawag natin na politics. Politika or affair of the cities. Okay? Politic, in its broadest sense, is the activity through which people make, preserve, and amend the general rules under which they live. Halimbawa na lang dito sa Pilipinas, there are some implementations of rules and regulations, 'di ba? That has been made by the president, 'di ba? Most especially this pandemic, 'di ba? Which is sinusunod ng mga tao, 'di ba? So, sumunod is, pag sinabi nating politics, it is the way that people living in groups that make decisions. Politics is about making agreements between people so they can live together in groups such as tribes, cities, and countries. Yan. So, these are the different forms of politics. Number one, yung government. Diba? The government is a concrete example of political institution. Diba? Isa yan sa mga concrete example ng political institution kung saan dito ini-implement or ina-exercise yung power na meron yung pinakamataas. Okay? Most especially in relation to the governance and decision making. Okay? So, one of the way the government leads the group is by making laws and rules. Yan. Yun yung tinatawag natin na government. Okay? Next, the power. Okay? Yung power naman, it is actually defined in democratic principle. Okay? This is actually a status that is granted to individuals or institutions to properly run the government and implement the rules, the laws in every society. Halimbawa, bumoto tayo, pumili tayo ng presidente natin. So, yung presidente na pinili natin, siya yung mag-i-implement o siya yung magiging ruler, diba? And implementer nung rules and regulations na meron sa isang bansa. 'Di ba? Hindi lang yung presidente. Bukod doon is yung mga nasa ilalim pa niya, ang katulong niya. 'Di ba? Doon pumapasok yung tinatawag nating power. 'Di ba? They have the ability to execute. 'Di ba? Anong tawag dito? The power of institution sa isang bansa. 'Di ba? By means of democratic principles. Okay? So, next, the culture, the society, and politics. Yan. So, yung culture, society, and politics, its relation are essential when it comes on understanding the human behavior and social group. They are interrelated and to some extent reflective of each other. So, ibig sabihin, kumbaga, si culture yung pinakang parang product, ika nga, ng isang society. Ito yung nakikita, no, na meron sa isang society. While si politics naman is, ito naman yung implementations ng rules and regulations na meron sa isang society. While the society are the individuals that are the members of any organizations inside the society. Okay? So, we as an individual is a part of that society. Tayo yung nagtataglay ng culture na meron sa kanya at tayo yung sumusunod sa implementations ng rules and regulations na meron doon. So, yun yung interrelation in between the culture, the society, and politics. Okay? So, dahil dyan, dito pumapasok yung tinatawag nating gender. Okay? So, the social construction of characteristics of being a male or female can be referred to role of every individual. Kung yung role ko bilang babae, role bilang lalaki, di ba? It is known as a gender role. Okay? So, every individual has a concept of themselves. Diba? Yun yung tinatawag nating gender identity. Halimbawa, ito yung tinatawag nating, in general terms, the sex. Okay? Which refers to the biological differences between the male and the female. Okay? So, dito, pumapasok yung uh, the expressions of or what we call external manifestations of gender, like sa pangalan nila, sa pronunciations nila, paano sila manamit, yung haircut, behavior, of course yung voice, body characteristics, 'di ba? So every individual must come to an end of a gender, 'di ba? So, lahat tayo, pumapasok tayo dun sa tinatawag na socio-economic status. Yung socio-economic status, ito yung category ng isang individual. More or less, is yung kanyang socio-economic privileges in one society. 'Di ba? So, these privileges are due to inherited wealth or any occupational status or breadwinner in any household. So, meron tayong tinatawag na types of social classes. Yung types of social classes, ito yung upper class, middle class, at saka lower class. Sa upper class, ito yung mga elite families that is considered as the most productive in terms of so resources, generation, and oftentimes very successful when it comes on their field of interest. So, si upper class, meron siyang dalawang klase. They are called as two types of elites. Una, traditional upper class. Pag sinabi nating traditional upper class, it acquired their wealth through the inheritance. 'Di ba? Halimbawa na lamang is yung mga anak at apo ng namayapang si Henry C. 'Di ba? So, his family or his descendants belong to traditional upper class. Kasi, meron siyang naipamana sa kanila. Okay? Yung kayamanan niya, kung ano yung naiwan niya, is ipinamana sa mga apo niya, sa mga anak niya, 'di ba? So they belong to traditional upper class. Pag sinabi naman nating new rich, other type of elite, ito naman yung mga klase ng individual na anong tawag din, yumaman. They are actually called as rag to riches turns to fortune. 'Di ba? So, examples of rags to riches turn to fortune, Papa, ay rags to riches na individual? Tony Tan Cakchong. 'Di ba? So, isa sa mga example. Si Henry C. Den, 'di ba? Rags to riches turns of fortune. Yun talagang naranasan nila yung lahat ng hirap bago sila naging successful. 'Di ba? Syempre, kumbaga dahil meron silang tinatawag na entrepreneurial mindset. 'Di ba? So, next types of social class is the middle class. Okay? Yung middle class, it composed of small business and industry operators, which is mostly owners and managers, professionals, office workers, the farm owners with income sufficient enough to provide a comfortable life and decent living. Halimbawa na lang yung mga OFW, 'di ba? Yung mga nagtatrabaho sa opisina, teachers, 'di ba? They belong to middle class. Okay? Okay, small medium enterprises owner. Okay. So, next one is the lower class or the unemployed, underemployed farm employees, the skilled and non-skilled artisan, service workers, and those who belong to indigent families. Okay? So, ito yung mga subsistence lifestyle that is manifested through the following condition. Number one, family could hardly eat 3 times a day. Diba? Yun yung sa lower class. Sumunod naman yung ang daily income nila is kumbaga hindi sapat para makakain everyday yung kanilang pamilya, tapos pambayad lang ng bills, pambayad lang ng utang, 'di ba? Next one, number 3 is the breadwinner that does not have a permanent job. Yung talagang every 6 months kailangan niyang hanap ulit ng trabaho. 'Di ba? Yun, tinatawag natin na subsistence lifestyle ng lower class. Okay. Next, the ethnicity. Okay. Pag sinabi nating ethnicity, this is actually the expression of a set of cultural ideas that held by distinct ethnic or indigenous group. Okay? Nire-refer to dun sa mga tao which has a collectively and publicly identify themselves as distinct and unique based on their distinguishable cultural features. Okay? Halimbawa, yung galing sa mayroong iba't ibang language, yung ancestry, common origin, customs, and of course, yung tradition.
Yun tinatawag nating ethnicity. Then, sumunod dito yung religion. Pag sinabi nating religion, ito yung social cultural system that is designed or designated with the behaviors and practices of an individual. Pumapasok dito yung morals, worldviews, texts, sanctified places, prophecies, ethnics, or organizations that relate to humanity, to supernatural, transcendental, and spiritual elements. Yun yung religion. Dito rin pumapasok yung interaction with having a ritual every Sunday, sanctified places, 'di ba? What are the prophecies? Then yung reading of Bibles, 'di ba? Dito yung pumapasok sa religion. Next, yung exceptionality. Pag sinabi nating exceptionality, this refers to the state of being that is intellectually gifted or having physical or mentally challenged condition. 'Di ba? Meron siyang tinatawag na categories. Halimbawa, behavior. Okay. So, yung intellectual behavior ng isang individual is nagkakaroon ng tinatawag na mental challenges. Okay? Communication including autism, deaf, and hard of hearing. Yan. Kumbaga, nasa-separate kasi sila within the society. Diba? So, kaya kumbaga, binibigyan sila ng category. Okay? Kumbaga, yun yung tinatawag na exceptionality. Okay? Yung when it comes on their behavior, when it comes on having communication, when it comes on language impairment and learning disability, intellectual including giftedness, mild intellectual disability, and developmental disability. Then, physical including physical disability, blind or low vision. Then, multiple including multiple exceptionalities. Yan. Next, the nationality. Pag sinabi nating nationality, it is a legal relationship that binds a person from its country. The origin of an individual. Halimbawa ako ay isang Pilipino. 'Di ba? Ako ay galing sa Pilipinas. 'Di ba? Halimbawa lang si Kay Macacleta ay isang Amerikano. Siya ay galing sa Amerika. 'Di ba? So there is a legal relationship that binds an individual to his country. Okay? It allows the state to protect and have jurisdiction over that person. Diba? So kung ikaw ay naninirahan sa Pilipinas, the governance or the government of the Philippines has its responsibility to protect, okay, and have a jurisdiction over you, okay, as a Filipino. For people who are legally born of Filipino parents and those naturalized in the country, after fulfilling the requirements of residence, are granted the nationality of Filipino citizen or naturalized Filipino.
Okay? Social, political, and cultural behavior and phenomena. Okay? Every society has its own norms to follow. Bawat society daw is meron siyang norms na kailangang sundin. Patakaran, rules and regulations na kailangang sundin. These norms serve as a guide or models of behavior which tells us what is proper and improper. Okay. So, norms are often in the forms of rules, the standards, the prescription that are strictly followed by people who adhere on certain conventions. Yun yung tinatawag natin na social, political, and cultural behavior. Okay, pagdating naman sa norms of decency and conventionality. Sa norms of decency and conventionality, it is appropriateness and norm of conventionality are the most adhered norms in the society. Kasi ito yung tinuturo sa atin ng mga magulang natin paggamit ng po at opo, pagmamano sa matatanda, sa ninong at ninang, 'di ba? Yun yung itinuturo sa atin, the behavioral culture na tinuturo sa atin ng ating mga magulang, 'di ba? So, it is commonly exhibited on the type of clothing an individual wears, okay? It also normally exhibited on the behavior an individual shows, 'di ba? So, yun, yung pagiging magalang, yung pagiging marespeto, okay? Doon yun pumapasok sa norms of decency and conventionality. Next, conformity and deviance. Pag sinabi natin conformity and deviance, every society has a form of social control na tinatawag. Okay? So, a set of means that ensure the people behave that is
Expected and approved. 'Di ba? All norms, whether codified or not, are supported by sanctions. That is reward for conformity and punishments. Okay? So deviance is divided into two parts, which are the formal and
informal. Pag sinabi nating formal, this includes the actions that violate the enacted laws. Halimbawa na lamang yung robbery, yung pagnanakaw, 'di ba? Tapos yung graft, yung theft, yung rape, and other forms of criminality. Yan yung formal na tinatawag, which is yung ginagawa ng ibang tao. 'Di ba? Next is the informal. This refers to the violation to social norms that are not codified into laws. Halimbawa nito yung picking one's nose, belching loudly, and spitting on the street. 'Di ba? Kumbaga, hindi siya naka-codified into laws. Hindi siya nasusulat. Ika nga, no? Yung halimbawa, inano mo lang, pinik mo lang yung nose ng classmate mo. 'Di ba? Pero, there's certain rules and regulations in every society na kapag ka nakasakit ka, pwede kang magkaroon ng, anong tawag doon? Ng kaparusahan. Okay? So, let us proceed with taboo. Pag sinabi nating taboo, ito yung activity that is forbidden or sacred based on religion, beliefs, or morals. Okay? So, ito yung mga activity o yung mga pinagbabawal na ginagawa ng tao. Tapos, nabe-break niya yung rules ng isang religion. Halimbawa, ito yung mga example niya. Yung abortion. 'Di ba? Bestiality or zoophilia na tinatawag. Yung sexual relation between human and animal. 'Di ba? Meron akong nabalitaan ganyan. Yung bigotry or bigotry. Ito yung speaking negatively about someone of another race. 'Di ba? Next is blood products. 'Di ba? So karaniwan sa Jehovah's Witnesses, 'di ba? Hindi sila kumakain ng mga ng dinuguan, 'di ba? So bawal sa kanila 'yan. Yung tapos yung pagsasali ng dugo, bawal sa kanila 'yan, no? Bakit ko siya alam kasi aside from that yung family kasi ng asawa ko is a Jehovah's Witness, no? Kaya kumbaga hindi sila nagpapasali ng dugo, hindi sila nagdo-donate, 'di ba? Then sumunod yung cannibalism. It is actually against the rules of religions. Yung binabanggit natin. Yung binabanggit ni ma'am, no? Cannibalism, a human being that is eating the flesh of another human being. May mga napabalitaan tayong ganyan sa ibang lugar. 'Di ba? Then, the head position. Sa Indonesia to nangyayari, no? Yung the taboo is yung head nila is higher than an elder person. Kumbaga inaano yan, kumbaga parang may ritual na ginagawa, no? Illegal drugs, using or abusing illegal drugs. The incest. Pag sinabi natin incest, this is a sexual relations between relatives. Okay? Different cultures have different definitions of how close a relative would be considered taboo na tinatawag. Pero alam niyo ba nung unang panahon sa Pransya, 'di ba? Para hindi sa culture din ng ibang bansa, para hindi lumabas ang kayamanan, 'di ba? Yung magkapatid o yung magpipinsan pinag-aasawa nila. Tama ba? Sa negosyo, 'di ba? Then offensive language. Pag sinabi natin offensive language, this is the obscenity or vulgarity. Yung pagiging over-obsessed sa kayamanan. Diba? Offensive language din. Vulgarity, obscenity. Hindi pala, sorry po. Offensive language, yung pagsasalita ng hindi maganda, yung pagmumura, okay? Iba pala yung pagiging obsessed sa kayamanan. So, that is offensive language. Diba? Tapos yung halimbawa, minumura mo yung tao, pinagsasalitaan mo ng hindi maganda, that is obscenity or vulgarity. Diba? Then pornography. Okay? Ito naman yung pagpapakita ng katawan which turn into an individual to have a sexual excitement. Diba? So ito karaniwan is merong mga site na nasa-search, diba? Which is actually bawal talaga, most especially sa minor ones. These behaviors, regardless to conform or deviate from the traditional norms of society, may contribute to the changes in various aspects of society. Okay? So that is our topic sa ating module number 1, which has a title of Defining the Culture, the Society, and the Politics. Ayan. So para sa ating MDL schedule, okay? Since 2 hours naman tayo, 1 hour ODL and 1 hour MDL, is you're going to answer activity, ayan, activity number 1, which has a title of Trace of Relationship, and activity number 2, Society, Culture, and Politics. Ayan. So magsisend ako ng instruction sa GC regarding sa activity natin for our MDL. So due date po nito is until Friday.